What's up, guys? Welcome to High on Life. Today we are going to talk about how to get paid to travel the world, specifically through brand partnerships. My name is Riker and I've been in this game for about 6 years through High on Life and through helping build other brands on Instagram and other platforms, and I love this community. What's really cool, and I want you guys to keep in mind right now, is that you don't need to have 1 million followers to be able to travel the world. We got our first free trip with High on Life back when we only had 5,000 YouTube subscribers. That's it. That's not a big giant community. That's not 100,000 or anything even. And that translated into about $5,000–6,000 worth of travel. So, keep that in mind, maybe even more. I also want to say I managed to monetize my personal Instagram account back when I had like 6,000 followers. So small following, there's a way to monetize it, and that is through brand partnerships. That's what I'm going to share with you today. Let's get into it. First and foremost, how the hell is any of this possible? I want to share a trend that's going down in society right now that you may or may not be well aware of. And this is the shift in how businesses are spending their marketing dollars. So in the old way, the olden days, which still exist today, a business like McDonald's, if they wanted to sell a burger, they would hire an agency to come up with an idea. How are we gonna sell this burger? And then they would have to, once they agree on what that idea is, they gotta produce that, whatever it is, a commercial or whatnot, or whether it's billboard ads. So they make this piece of, marketing material, and then they're gonna end up having to spend more money to get that marketing material in front of the eyes of their target demographic. This is a billion-dollar industry that still exists today, but businesses are realizing that there's a way easier way to reach their target audience through the eyes and the efforts of influencers, people who create content or curate content, but they have these little cute targeted audiences. Or maybe they have huge audiences, it doesn't matter. This is a trend that's going down right now, and it is a hugely growing industry. There are billions of dollars just waiting for you to grab, and all you gotta do is start learning how to capitalize on this influencer economy. Learn how to build a brand, start making money with it. So let's get into some of the details of how you can start making money through brand partnerships. All right, I'm gonna run you through a few steps, kind of sequentially, of how you should go about this. Now, first and foremost, you gotta have something to offer a brand, your little targeted demographic, your little audience base that's relevant to a brand. First and foremost, you need to understand how to make a media kit and ideally a partnership proposal. Now, don't get too overwhelmed by these media kit, oh my God, what's it gonna be? A media kit can be as simple as a one-page document. It can have a graph, it can have screenshots of your analytics, but it's just a piece of paper that you're gonna digitally send to someone that's gonna say, this is who I am, this is what I'm all about, this is who my audience is, this is my audience size, this is their interests, and this is why my audience and what I do is relevant to your business. Now, the second document is a partnership proposal, and this is a little bit more thorough and can be 50 pages if you want it to, although I don't recommend it. It can be several pages long, and it's essentially going to explain 3 aspects. The first is what you are going to do for the brand. The second is how it will be of value to the brand, and the third is what it's going to cost them. Now, that's where you get to make some money. The next step I want you guys to do is create a dream list of brands that you would just kill to work with. It could be big dogs like Lululemon or Nike or Virgin Airlines and anything like that. And then I want you to do some research. Go onto their social media, go onto their websites, and try to identify what they're doing right now to sell their products and services. What kind of marketing tactics are they already deploying? Do they have articles out there that are explaining what their previous marketing strategies are and their new strategies are for the next year? Are they already working with influencers? Who are they already working with? The more you know about what a business is doing is going to empower you to say, hey, I know what you're doing, and this is how I think I'm going to be able to provide more value to you by piggybacking off of this existing campaign, or bringing forth an idea that can be beneficial to what your business's goals are.
All right, I'm gonna take it from here. I'm Alexi, and I'm gonna tell you about the next steps to follow for you to actually reach out to these brands and start working with them. So, First things first, now that you have a list of the companies you want to work with, you got to do a little bit of research. So a good way to start doing that research is to look at other companies or other influencers that they're working with. So Riker just talked about, what did Riker just talk about?
I want you to do some research. Try to identify what they're doing right now to sell their products and services.
So Riker just talked about having a look at these brands and seeing what their marketing strategies are and where their money is going. That is definitely a good way for you to go. Another way for you to go is to search for other influencers that are in a similar niche as you and see if they are doing campaigns with the brands that you want to be doing. Or just in general, let's say you have identified 10 brands that you absolutely love, that you would feel wholeheartedly awesome about promoting and collaborating with. By researching those brands and seeing what kind of campaigns they're running, what influencers they're working with, it will give you a pretty good understanding of what trajectory they're going in. Once you do that, once you have that idea, you have to go to step 2, which is reach out to these people. How do you get in touch with the right person? How do you even find the right person at this company to talk to about what you want to talk about? Well, there's a couple ways to get on their radar. First and foremost, you are going to have to create some sort of a pitch that you're going to send by email. You're probably not going to get the right person or the right email right off the bat, and that's okay. If you find somebody in the marketing department of the company, and you can do that through LinkedIn or maybe the website of the company, you can kind of position yourself as an influencer that's, Riker talked about the 3 things you need to mention in your email, right? What you want to do, how it will be of value to them, and how much it will cost. You might not even want to start with that. You might want to just kind of get the foot in the door technique and just present yourself as an influencer who loves the brand, who wants to work with them on some level, and just ask to be put in touch with the right person that handles the media partnerships, or anybody who works in the influencer space for that company. Chances are, the bigger the company, the more likely they are to already be working with influencers. And if they're not, that's okay, because at this point in time, everybody knows what influencer marketing is, and if they haven't tried it yet, they've definitely thought about it, and you coming to them might be a perfect opportunity for them to jump in. So obviously, the vast majority of your communication will start out on email and likely happen on Skype, some phone calls as you kind of get to know each other. A good way to get on a brand's radar is to talk to them on their social media, to comment on their stuff, to interact with them. Now, do keep in mind, the majority of brands, unlikely that it's gonna be the right person that you need to talk to that's gonna be running that social media account. How companies are structured is they usually have social media managers or people who run those accounts, who run that content, and they are not the same people as the marketing people who make the decisions and hash out the dollars. Even though you will eventually end up working with the social media people if you do strike that brand partnership, that is not going to be the person that you need to speak to. That is not the decision maker, so to say. But they could be a gatekeeper, and they could be somebody who will pass you on to the right person. But again, the more touch points of contact that you have with this company, the more likely you are to get on their radar. Again, like anything else, this is sort of a numbers game. You might not be the right fit, it might be the wrong quarter of the year, they might not be doing influencer campaigns. Whatever it is, that's okay, because even if you build that relationship, even if you kind of get on their radar, maybe the next time that they do run a campaign, they'll think of you because they already have your media kit, they already have your pitch, they already know what your rates are, and when they come back, maybe you've doubled in your audience size. So there's definitely a ton of value to kind of building those relationships right off the bat. Now you're talking to the right person. You've gotten through to the marketing director or the person who's in charge of these influencer campaigns. You're speaking with the decision maker. Now you get to ask them what their goals are. What are the upcoming campaigns they have? Like, what is their tactic? What is their business strategy, marketing strategy for influencer campaigns on social media? Chances are most brands will already have some sort of practices or policies in place. If they do not, that's okay, because you get to kind of make a proposal right off the bat. Either way, this is now your opportunity to pitch. Now that you've created your relationship, now that you're talking to the right people about the right stuff, you get to talk to them and see if there's a way you can get involved, see if there's a partnership that you can work out. I want to touch on this. There's definitely a different dynamic when you reach out to brands as opposed to when brands reach out to you. And at the beginning, you might be doing more of the reaching out. Once you've filled up your, so to speak, resume with brand partnerships, things will kind of start coming your way more and more. And it's definitely a better place to be in a position where someone reached out to you because they want to work with you. You get to ask for more, essentially. You're not trying to sell them. They're already interested. That whole sales element, it's out the window because these people already want to work with you. Now it's just about negotiating and you finding what your price is. As opposed to when you're reaching out to people, which is what you might be doing at first, you still kind of have to break down some barriers. You still have to kind of get through to people. And a lot of the time you might still have to convince people why influencer marketing is even relevant. Older the company, larger the company, the more chances are that they're a little bit of a dinosaur. They don't necessarily get it, or the marketing person's boss doesn't quite get it. But again, every company is going to be totally different. You might be talking to somebody who just gets it right away and they're just in, right? You never know. It does become a numbers game. So don't get discouraged if one doesn't work out, if you don't get a resounding yes right off the bat. Kind of keep going, and keep in mind that these things also don't happen overnight. They do take time to kind of happen, to come to fruition. There's going to be a lot of negotiations and planning, especially when it's a trip, because there's more moving parts in something like a trip. So another thing I want to really talk about and really instill is the value of your mastermind and your network. In whatever space that you're in, whatever company you're working with, there's going to be other people that are just like you or in a similar niche that also work with very similar companies. The best thing you can do is work together, to bind together and help each other out, because the power of the network, the power of the community is so valuable. This isn't the type of world where it's like me or you, or like not sharing information. That kind of mindset is shit. You have to get that out of your head, because if you come into this business with that mindset, it's just me and I need to not share my contact with anybody and I can't help anybody else out, well, you're not gonna grow, you're not gonna get ahead. The people that do succeed, the people that do get ahead, are the people that create a community, that work together, that aspire together and build each other's businesses together. And that is so valuable to be a part of that network, or even to, take steps into creating that kind of network, to work with other people in your niche, and to share information. Like if you do a campaign, you reach out to them and be like, guys, I just did this campaign. Maybe I can see if they want to work with you. Like this is kind of, you can disclose or not disclose how much money you've made or what the specifics of your brand deal is. But I guess it just comes down to having friends in the community that will help you and you will help them. And having that kind of mastermind hub is gonna take so much guesswork out of all your negotiation with these brands, because now you can bind together with other influencers and you can decide to set certain rates or standards or specifics for the deals and how they get worked out. So when you are talking to the right person and you have a bit of a relationship and they have showed interest, the next thing they'll likely say is, okay, well, send me some sort of a proposal so I can take this to my boss and explain it to them, and then maybe we can move forward. Include numbers, reach, money, whatever needs to go in that post. So this is your opportunity to create a little pitch. Now, I do suggest you create a little document, make it look pretty, dress it up, find a template in a Word document, make it look professional, right? Because this is going to professional business and someone's going to show it to their boss and they're going to try and sell you on your behalf. It's always good to kind of create different options. So like in this pitch, like businesses and brands like numbers. So include your analytics, include your reach, include any past campaigns, any case studies, any success stories that you have, any testimonials, stuff like that. But also include a couple of options. You always want to kind of, and this is just like a psychology element, I think. So create 3 different options and scale them up with the more money they spend, the more value they get. So for example, option 2 can cost $5,000, but option 3 can cost $7,000, but they actually get twice as much that they do in option 2 for just a little bit more money, right? So just psychologically, it's like the more you spend, the more you get, right? The couple important things you want to put in are things like numbers. That's what they really like, is when you quantify, okay, you get this amount of YouTube videos, this amount of tweets, this amount of Facebook posts, we're gonna tag your brand in this way, we're gonna integrate your products in this way, this many times. The more specific you can be, the better, because then there's no confusion. There's a lot of clarity for exactly what their marketing dollars are going for. And so various packages will generate different amounts of impressions. So incorporate impressions, quantify the posts, and obviously how much money you're asking for, and put it in scalable type of tier system, and meaning the more money they spend, the more they get, and it's just exponentially more than the first one. You never know, some people want to just start it out, they might not even go for any of your options, but more often than not, they'll kind of take your pitch, they'll be like, okay, these are the options these people are offering, and it's official because it's in a document that you created and with a Word template, so they're going to sell it to their boss, and if it's a go, it's a go. And then, you know, there'll be some processes and stuff, and eventually that campaign will go through. So we went on a big streak ourselves 2 years ago, reaching out to a ton of different companies, a ton of different brands, and creating these partnerships and sending them out and really testing the water and learning what works.
All right, guys, as you can see, the world of brand partnerships is so exciting. And again, we gotta stress this. You don't need a huge audience to be able to get paid to travel the world. You just have to understand how any of this is possible. And more importantly, the more you can empower yourself with this understanding of the influencer economy, of how brands work with influencers, you are gonna be able to show up in these kind of conversations with people that you never thought was possible. And you're gonna end up having these amazing opportunities come your way. So keep in mind, you don't need a big audience. You can start today. Knowledge is power. If you want to learn more about this stuff, click on the link in the bio. We are going to be teaching a lot more. And yeah, ciao. See you guys next. Oh, before we go, leave a comment. Let us know if there's some questions you have about this whole process, or if you missed anything. If you've got your own tips, ask us anything. We're reading as much and replying to as many as we can. And we will see you in the next video. Ciao.